Welcome to Talking with the Source, where we bring on well-known and local researchers from around the world to share their experiences and evidence.
Who knows that the moon missions were faked?
As soon as I said, I'll meet you, and she said, oh, darn it, I gotta check the door, make sure the door's locked, because I don't want to leave John's house unlocked. So she goes back to check the door. I go out to my vehicle, and I hear this god-awful scream.
Well, there are 63 races of grays. So most people only think there's one race, and when you say grays, it's a misinformation. There's 63 races. Out of those, one race is a negative extraterrestrial. And what I do is I group them in the negative and the positive. The positive wish to see humanity ascend.
What is your name? My name is Anthony.
Are you ready to unravel the mysteries of this podcast? Join us only on Talking with the Source, live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and on all podcast listening platforms.
What up, Sir Chris? What you doing, bro?
Nothing.
Nothing. Another week with Talking with the Source. A lot of crazy stuff happened yesterday. I'm glad the president's all right. You know, that was crazy, man. Well, I'm just saying that's like the same shit that happened to me in Iraq, and you know, I think his spirit guides were there with him and helped him out. And if you don't believe in spirit guides or guardian angels, I'm talking that much more to the right. He would have been gone. So, but I'm glad he's okay. I want to shout out to Parapost. Thank you for letting us stream on here, Mr. Brian J. Laverty. Appreciate it. And also go check out Global Ghost Hunt. Go to globalghosthunts.com if you got a paranormal team and you want more exposure. Check them out. They'll hook you up. They got an October event coming up for teams, so if you're interested, go check them out. But speaking of paranormal, we got one of our good friends that we've investigated with numerous times at the Abbey, and he's a great guy, love him to death, and we were talking in the background, and we need an intro for him, so I'm gonna do it, dude. This is your new intro. Wantey's World, excellent party time. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? We'll have to change it over to that.
I know.
Look who's joining us.
It just rocks, dude.
It just works so good.
Yeah.
What's up, Cats?
What's up, Garrett? What's up, Wayne? Yeah, love the intro. Thanks, Cats Meow. There's Cat.
Yeah, Wantey.
Welcome. So, Wantey, just like every guest, I want to know how you got started. What caused you to be intrigued by the paranormal? When did this start? Because I know your job, you probably see a lot of crazy stuff, but when did it start?
Just a few crazy things. Jesus, it happened when we were a child growing up. First house that we're in, my brother and I, we would see shadow figures there, and you know, like everybody, they tell you that nope, they're not real, they don't exist, and you're like, oh well, something's here. But so you kind of go through life trying to figure things out, and then you start watching the different shows, the paranormal shows, and you're like, oh, I can would love to definitely get into this, and that's kind of where we're at.
So what year was that? When did you start? When you were younger, or was this more of a more recent?
So doing the investigations have probably been within the last 5 years, but been into it for a long time.
Okay, all right. Because I know you your channel is so amazing. Like you got everything from gaming to opening boxes on TikTok, and I love watching them, man. You get all the cool stuff. So
I try and keep it as an everything streamer. Like, you know, I don't like to just be one thing, because then you're stuck doing that all the time. And, you know, as fun as it may be, you know, one day you may want to play games. The next day you may want to stream an investigation. You may want to open boxes like I do at times. And so, you know, just being committed to one is for me, it's difficult.
No, exactly. Hey, if you got the time and the energy, man, I was doing 3 podcasts. I couldn't do it anymore, so I gave up the Friday one. I was like, screw this. I need more time for me. And no, it's crazy because I do this show on Sunday, and then I have to make my promotion for my show on Tuesday tomorrow, and I'd be doing that all day. And then I did my show, and then I'd have to edit, and then I'd have to do the other show. I was like, nah.
You did your best of on Thursday, and
takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I give up Friday. That's why we didn't see him Friday, Wantey.
What's that?
That's why he gave up his Friday show, so that's why we didn't see him.
Oh.
Yeah. I gave it. I left legit, and I wish them nothing but love and light. I wish them to have success in their future. There's no bad blood between me and them, and I always support them. So, but yeah, man. Let's. So, what's your favorite investigation that you ever done?
Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one. I have way too much fun on them, so there's really not a specific favorite one.
You know, it's when you met us.
When I came out to the Abbey and met all of you, you know, got to meet Dennis, you know, John, Katz. You know, you meet everybody in person, from going from the, you know, the virtual world to actually getting to meeting them, and then you kind of develop a lifelong family friendship, which you just
legit.
Away.
No, did legit. That's so true.
But I guess I'll pick on the last Abbey we just did. We had a lot of fun at that. Chris.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at that
one. Chris had so much fun. He nearly killed himself.
It was fun. All that aside, it was fun.
But I mean, even going back to that one, I mean, we did a lot of investigations. We played Duck Duck Goose downstairs, and I got goosed, and it took me a good 10 to 30 seconds to realize what had just happened. And because I brushed off my knee, and I'm like, oh my God, I just got goosed. And everybody's looking at me, they're like, why didn't you run? I'm like, I know,
why didn't you run?
Because I like being goosed.
You just don't expect it.
Well, I know the one before that, the mayhem before that, or the one before that, that's when you first had your body camera, and you got that crazy video. I'm sure you have it on your TikTok. You posted up there. You guys should go check that video out. It's crazy. You see a white mist walking. Insane.
Yeah, that was so I had arrived, I think 2 days early at the Abbey to be with Dennis, to get him all set up with his live streaming that he was doing in the basement, because he couldn't go from the second floor streaming office downstairs. So I brought in some Wi-Fi repeaters, and we got everything all squared away so we could stream. Well, while we're down there, I'm down there with Dennis and Sean, and I have my body cam on, and we come around the corner. We're going down the main hallway down to the potato cellar, and all of a sudden, we couldn't tell 100% if it was a reflection or not until we looked at it later, but you saw a white mist of a child walk by. And we kind of all our faces was just looking at was that really what we just thought we saw? So when I pulled up the footage later, we were like, wow, that's awesome. And then we tried to debunk it, because that's what we do best, is we try and go back and see, was there a reflection? Was there something else? And we tried, I don't know, 2-3 hours, and there was nobody that could figure out how to make that happen again, besides it was a spirit that was showing us who they were.
Yeah, and that's not the only time you caught one on camera. Even that last time, you got a dark shadow that came up to you as we were sitting in that room. I remember that, because you're like, oh my God.
We had, so that was the room we caught Abigail.
Yeah.
And I believe it was right next to Sean. Sean was sitting on the floor, and we were taking pictures, and it's on my body cam, but I also have a couple still photos of it, and we matched it up to the Abigail that Dennis had a picture of standing in the room that they had labeled Abigail, and it's the exact same figure in both pictures, and we're like, wow, we actually caught her, because it's hard to catch them on a still camera or even the video footage. You just don't know. In hours of looking, your eyes start to blur, and it's like, am I really seeing what I think I see?
Yeah. The craziest things I get there was just EVPs. And then when we did that one session in the Abbott's room, that's when something latched on to me, and Chris helped me get rid of that the next day. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, things will latch on to you there. They're not afraid of us. And I know Nicole and her husband get a lot of attachments. I know he's been attached a couple times. So
they like to stick to them, we've noticed.
Yeah. Well, it's sad that that place has nobody to take care of it now. But I'm glad Dennis is out doing what he loves doing, and I wish him nothing but the best. Hopefully he's watching, or somebody can share with him. But what's your favorite piece of equipment that you've gotten lately?
My favorite piece of equipment I like to use is my REM pods. But
okay,
I got some new equipment, which I was debuting the other day. I got a new yes no box. So it's just, hold on, I gotta figure out where my camera is. It's a spike EMF. It's from Ghost Stop. So when you turn it on, it kind of sweeps its way through. Maybe I'll see the lights going through. So I have yet to use it. But when I do, I'll definitely post some content for it. And then the other new thing that I just picked up was the PSB7 Pro.
Oh, wow.
So I'm definitely looking forward to trying that one out, and let you know how that goes.
Yeah, definitely. So awesome. Post some videos on that. Where are you thinking of your next investigation? Where are you going to go?
So normally, in my community, we have a building called the Whitney Murdoch Mansion, and that's where I do a lot of my investigations. And we have a lot of fun there. I get cabinets opening all the time. There's a little boy, George, there. I won't give too much of the story away from him if people want to investigate, but he did pass there, and he's very interactive with me. He's always around and always, hey, George, what's going on? Hey, George, you want to play some games? And he'll start touching the cat balls. There was a clip that I did recently where I had 2 cat balls on a counter. We also had a REM pod dog, and I went to go turn on the REM pod dog, and one of the cat balls just starts rolling, and I'm like, did that really just happen? Like, how can I debunk this? So then I'm like shaking the dog. The other cat balls aren't moving, and I'm like, all right, something looks cool. I really hope I got this on footage, and when I review the footage, you see me, it's like an on-off switch, so you just toggle it left or right, so it's a nice gentle switch. The cat ball just rolls around and starts going off, and I'm like, I caught it. I actually caught it, because normally, I mean, how many times have we been in an investigation together and we're just, sitting there chatting, and then all this stuff happens, and we're like, who's recording? And we're like, none of us have anything on. Nobody's recording.
We're trying to have to put something up.
That's the best experience is going in there without the equipment. I do that a lot. I just like BZ EVPs was saying, she doesn't use equipment either, and I think your body is kind of the best instrument, but it sucks when stuff happens and you don't get it on footage. But I have seen that clip of yours, and it is on your TikTok, so I suggest people go check it out. You'll see him playing with the dog, and the cat ball moves on its own.
Yeah, he got
it looked like a pretty sturdy table too, and I didn't see you bump the table at all, because all the other ones would have moved too if you had bumped the table or something.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, if I actually hit it in one cat ball rolls, they should all be rolling, because they're all cylindrical objects. Spiritually,
yeah.
But that's why, like, everybody asks, they're like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I just call myself an intuitive paranormal investigator, because not only do I use the equipment, I use what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, and all that there, and it works both ways. And I know you do that as well, John. And It's just so much fun to see what you're picking up on compared to what is, what people are capturing, and that
it's fun to be able to what I want to say, correlate that though, like, oh, I thought I felt that, and then you see it on the camera and it's like, yes.
So BZ EVPs says that spirits do like running water. So I've been around like a river or something while doing an investigation, or a body of water, but when I'm in the room doing a session, I've never tried running water. So maybe I'll try that. I think that's an interesting point, and I would love to acknowledge that.
It definitely makes sense. I mean, you got to think of it. They're directly connected with the earth, so it's coming directly out of the earth. So it's extra energy for them and easier for them to communicate with us, and do what we're asking them if they can do. And I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
To conduct their energy better too, maybe because they got to use energy, and maybe it would amplify it.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, no, if you think about it, water is the best conductor of electricity. And so if spirit is a kind of EMF electrical energy, I would think the water would be amazing for it. That's a good point. Let's see, I proved different methods. Okay. Or a death slide. I didn't name it. Death slide, like a death water slide.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like picturing this water slide going way down.
Yeah, or maybe a Zen fountain. Maybe I'll get a Zen fountain and I'll put it there, like, so I have running water during sessions. I think that would
be relaxing, but then I feel like I have to go to the bathroom. Water trickling all the time.
A lot of water talk.
That slide is a feather quilt. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm going to look that up because now I'm curious.
I know.
Yeah, right?
It's like the death.
So, do you go to like all the paracons and stuff too, or?
I don't go to all the paracons. I am supposed to be going to the Gettysburg Bash. That's July 26th, 27th, 28th down in Gettysburg. So I should be there. Going to say hi. Hopefully be able to go out on a investigation down in Gettysburg. Last time I was there, we went to a couple of different places that do guided tours. Oh, okay.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Slide hands over to make white noise. Spirit talk. Oh. I'm learning a lot from her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely.
So Gettysburg Bash. So you're hoping to get to investigate the battlefield there, or like some of the homes there, or?
Yeah. So last time we were there, we did a couple of the homes, but they don't let you do an investigation. They let you go on a guided tour / investigation. So
yeah,
it's one of those things where they give you, let's say, you get 2 hours. And they give you like an hour and a half worth of a tour, and then they do an investigation with you. Is that the automatic writing?
Yeah, that would be like automatic writing, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But continue. Yeah. So they do the guided tours, but it's not like an actual investigation that they let you free for all at night, right?
Right. So they keep you kind of in their tour group as they're going. They bring you through the different buildings and then outside, and then you have the Jenny Wade house down there, and it's the same thing. They do a guided tour, and they let you go through the Jenny Wade house, but they don't let you investigate it unless you're part of that guided tour. So, but I know that this year they've kind of changed some of their rules to try and attract more people in. So we'll see if I can do more. But I know some of the guests there at the Paracon are planning an investigation, which will be a lot of fun.
That'd be cool. I was going to ask, do they do private ones then? Can you call them up and get a private one booked there?
I honestly don't know. I would imagine they would, but I just don't know.
Well. See, there's another spot for us to go. Come on.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I was on another podcast. I think it was called Paranormal Brew, but she took a picture during the day, and it's a perfect silhouette of a Civil War soldier, and they actually have it at the museum there. They took her picture, and it's actually there, but it was pretty intriguing to see.
That's really cool.
So if you get there, you go to the museum. I think her name's on it and stuff, but you have to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, if I see it, I'll shoot you a picture.
Yeah. It's pretty defined. Like it's by a tree and in the rocks, and the sun's at the opposite direction, so there's no way that the shadow should have been there, and it was a good picture. So yeah,
that's really cool.
What is saying? Yeah, man. And then it's not automatic writing, just scribe slowly while recording. Don't know. So it actually shows up in
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I prove that too. I call it transfiguration. Yeah. There's no set way to communicate with spirit. Everybody's got their own ways. Like I use the old PSP7, and I use this, and I get crazy shit, and you get crazy videos, and Chris is just crazy,
Well,
he just lets them come right into his body and goes crazy.
Yeah, just take me over.
Yeah, and I have the two people that saved me right here.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy night. So what about your family? Do they go on hunts with you?
My oldest son will come with me on certain ones, but he's still young, so I try and leave him home on anything outside of the Murdoch. I try and leave him home, and then my wife, she loves what I do, but she doesn't want to do it. She's like, this is your thing. You go have fun with this. You go talk to the spirits.
Have you ever been like, come on, please, just come once?
I've tried to invite her a couple times.
Those are the people I think always get the best responses when they're with you. The people that don't want to come, or like the disbelievers.
The reactions of like, what's going on?
They're the ones that get like the holy crap, like the guy picks up the chair and they'll throw it across the room, or that's when that happens. It always seems like.
No, we just went to the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue.
I was going to say we just went to the Wilson Castle in Vermont, and she wanted to go there to see the castle, but then
not to invest.
Go back home. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm going up there to sleep with the spirits and sleep in the castle. So you're welcome to join me and come up there, but I'm not coming back home till the next morning.
Or there's a car.
Is that the one when the blanket moved?
That's the one. So we were in a spirit, Sarah's room. She's the matriarch of the building, and the two people sitting there was Jackie and Genevieve. They were sitting there, and the entire curtain moved. And I didn't have. Wow. I had one camera facing the closet, and then the other camera was facing towards them, but it wasn't directly on them, so I missed it. So then when I turned the camera and we went on for another hour in that room, you end up seeing, and I didn't see it right away, but you see the whole curtain like get pulled out, and it's maybe 2 or 3 inches away from the door, and then it gets like promptly put back. And I'm looking, I'm like, no, I didn't just capture that. So then I watched it, and I'm like, no, it totally moved. And you see it open up, like you see like the whole curtain like crink and then like get pulled, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
See, dude, you get these crazy videos. Like, I wish I could get crazy videos. I just get crazy voices.
That's what I was about to say. He gets the crazy voices, and you get the crazy video. I'll just be the bait.
I don't get too many voices. It's all video for me. And as much as I try, and I'm like, I put my EMF, my EVP, and my all these different things to try and record voice. Nothing. Like, very rarely do I get any voice. But it's all video. And I'm like, I'm grateful, and I want the video to keep coming, but I want other things to trigger too sometimes. And it's like, well, Spirit knows that I enjoy the video, so they just keep at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you ever had something come home with you? Ever you got stuff at your house?
So I have had something come home with me. I went to the very haunted Chandler Hotel in Napanoch, New York, and I went there to learn how to build a REM pod. And they did a whole class. I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. So I print and build my own REM pods. And the one that we built there was a piggy. So it's like a stuffed pig that's a REM pod. So I built this REM pod, and we used it there for the night. And then I ended up coming home that night. I was supposed to stay, but I was like, I got to go home. Like, I just felt like I had to head home. Went home, drove, and it's about a 3-hour drive. Driving home, and I'm like, I kept like looking in my rearview mirror because I swore that something was behind me. And I'm like, is there someone here with me? And nothing. So then a day goes by, and I'm home, and then something rolled across the floor. One of the kids' toys rolled across the floor.
Wow.
It was not even in my room. So I don't even know how it got in here. And I'm looking at it, and I'm watching it go, and I'm like, boys, did one of you just throw the toy? And they're not even upstairs. They're downstairs. Hi, Don.
Don says you make great REM pods. I've seen you building them live. Do you have one you want to show, or?
I got one right here.
There it is.
Oh, nice.
So, but this is the original version. So the battery is not in its own battery box, which it is now. But it's just as simple as an on, just like your normal REM pod, and it's got 4 different lights that trigger depending on how close you get to it. But I mean, you got to be fairly close for it to start going off. No boosters, nothing. It is literally, it goes off of your whatever EMF is nearby, because some of them you buy and I've dissected and there's boosters in there, and it boosts out that signal quite a distance, and I don't like that.
Well, the one I think I saw you making was a little chick or something. It was yellow. You were making it on your printer.
Oh, the little chickens.
Oh, the chickens. So the chickens. The chickens are not mine. The chickens, I print 3D chickens for, have you ever heard of Scotty the Medium? So he's out in Jersey. And I print his chickens. He calls them his poultrygeist. So.
That's what it was. I saw that. Yeah.
So that's his mascot, and he takes them everywhere he goes. So when he lets me know he needs them, I print more for him, and I send them to him, or when I see him, I try and see him a couple times a year if I can, but our schedules don't always mesh up, and then I give them more.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. I don't have the patience for those things. Like I couldn't sit down here all day watching it print. No way,
I would leave. I would have to leave, start printing, and then walk away and mow the lawn and do my job.
And that's what I do.
Come home and okay.
I start printing them, and then so let's say I think I print 10 of them at a time or 9, and it's like a 21-hour print. So I'll just hit print and I walk away. Like, I am not going to sit here and watch this thing print all day. Nope.
There's not enough beer that would keep me down.
Being able to walk away, I could do it. I'd be afraid to jam up, and then I'd come in here and I'd have just like this big glob of black crap like on my desk or something.
I know. That's why I'd be afraid to leave, because I know it would jam up. It's like,
or the dog would hit it. And
it's usually pretty good, but it does occasionally. I'll come home and I'm like, what is going on? And it's just all these squiggles in there, and I'm like, oh no, my 16-hour print is ruined.
I know, you just wasted all that time and the supplies. I don't know. Is that stuff expensive, like the plastic and stuff, or
no? So you get they measure them in grams. So 1 gram of filament, which is a whole roll, is about anywhere between $15 to $20 for a roll, and it lasts for a little while.
Nice. All right. So it's like me using Polaroid.
Yeah, glug glug. I forgot what we were talking about earlier. We sidetracked.
Oh no, I was gonna say, with your line of work, you're a firefighter, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do your buddies think? Have you ever had stuff happen while on the job or at the firehouse or?
So I am very don't bring work with my my home life, and I try that the best I can. And spirit wise and all that, I try not to interact with anything on that level at work, just because I don't need what I'm doing and my focus and mental operation to deviate from what I'm doing. So I leave it alone. But I have brought my REM pods to work because everybody's like, "Oh, you should bring those there." So I bring them there, and the guys and gals are like, "It was going off at 2 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. I didn't know who was around me." I'm like, "Hey, you wanted me to leave it there.
You told me to bring them."
Yeah.
So FBI ex-operative has a question. He says, "Sorry for the rude question, but how do y'all feel about demon altry? I wasted a lot of filament to print good turbines for jet model jets." I don't know, dude. I don't have a machine that prints.
Yeah, I don't know about the printing part.
Yeah, printing. I mean, I use Sunlu and bamboo print filament a lot, but I think that the question was, I think they were asking how we feel about demonology.
I think
Demonaltry or something. I
demonology.
never heard of that.
That's different, or let's say it's demonology.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think demons are real, or?
I do. I don't play around in that. I think it all, and in regards to that, I think it's more of a very low vibrational energy.
Demonology, or whatever it is. Sorry, Wantey, is the worship of demons.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
So like, okay, people that want to conjure them and stuff. And that's the way I look at my sessions. I'm sitting here trying to talk with spirits and stuff, and help their cold cases. I think my intentions are different than somebody that wants to conjure a demon. So I guess if you look at a coin, there's always two sides to every coin. So without the yin and yang, you have to have dark with light, and it's just,
I guess if you're worshiping them, that's one thing. If you want to start conjuring them, though, that's kind of know what you're doing. At least know how to contain them and yourself, and free yourself from that after you're done. But if you want
to, don't summon them. But if you do, you do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you do you. Stay away from me.
If you guys remember, it took me 3 weeks to go through Aleister Crowley's whole bio on
That's
Wikipedia.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Wow. That mother, he conjured some crap up, and he did not close portals, and he was a very bad man. Like, he started out okay. Like, I was like, okay, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. But as I went on, it turned into very dark things, and I was like, I got to stop this, because I was thinking of contacting him. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to contact him now. Yeah.
We have J.K. Crowley here.
No,
I remember what we were talking about.
Everywhere he went, he would create these portals, and he even
Nicole, thanks for sharing, Nicole.
Yeah, he even was at Loch Ness. Okay, and this was before anybody spotted the Loch Ness monster and stuff. And he opened a porthole there, and all of a sudden, 10 years later, there's a monster in the lake. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I do believe that there's other dimensions that conflict with our consciousness and stuff, but it's hard to figure out, man. It really is. What did he say? No, I just see them as spirits also, but sometimes they have knowledge that often otherwise couldn't be found. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just got to be careful. You just don't want them to portray as somebody else and try and kind of venture their way in thinking that it's this, cute little girl spirit you're talking to, and it's really someone who has other ulterior motives.
No, and that's why I always have my guides around me, protecting me. I put my bubble on, and I do those precautions to make sure that nothing stays with me. And, I've had crazy stuff happen down here, like the TV turning off and beer koozie flowing across the desk. And I just, nope. I'm like, it's time to go.
No. We were talking about if I brought anybody home with me.
Yeah.
As we're gonna squirrel, but that's okay. I enjoy squirreling. But so at the Shanley, we did the REM pods. I drove home. I thought someone was in the car with me, and then something rolled across my floor in the office, and I'm like, oh, that was odd. And then the next day, my wife says, she's like, "Hey, did you bring anything home with you?" And I'm like, "Why'd you ask?" She's like, "Something's been playing with my hair." And I'm like, "Well, it's funny you say that. I thought I brought something home." So then I used
Sorry.
your box, and I apologized to her. And, I brought the spirit Michael home, and he was a child. And then I went and saw my second medium friend, and we chatted a little bit, and we were able to send him back to the Shanley. And that was the only one that I brought home. And I'm very, very cautious now about making sure that I cleanse. And I say, every time I go into a building, I always say when I'm leaving, I came alone, I leave alone. Thank you very much for everything you've done tonight, but you can remain here, because I don't want them to come home and, start playing around. And it was thankfully a friendly spirit, but you can interact, some not friendly ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nicole said she can relate. She's brought stuff home probably too. She's a psychic medium as well, and she had some crazy stories. She was the last guest that I had on my Friday night show.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Oh
wow.
Weeks ago, yeah. So yeah, man. So all this crazy stuff, and I don't know why do you do what you do? What are you just searching for answers, or are you want to just document your experiences, or why do you do it?
I enjoy it. It answered a lot of childhood questions, to be able to tell my younger self that all this stuff was real that was happening. Now I can tell myself that, everything I've experienced over the years and you've come to interact with was actually real. And now trying to understand it on a different level as to, is this, coming from our current dimension? Is it, time slips, things like that you kind of walk into. And so it's documenting what's going on, finding evidence, because showing people evidence about, the spirit world is always so much fun, because everybody's always asking questions about it. And if you can give them something visual, it goes back to, one of my favorite movies, the Santa Claus movie, that seeing is not believing, believing is seeing. Mm-hmm. Once people get to that understanding and knowledge, it's a little easier, but people still like to see in order to believe what's happening. So that's why I try and gather the evidence. I mean, I could go in a building and not gather any evidence and just take it in that way and be happy with it, but people want to see.
And that happens sometimes. You don't need anything.
Yeah, there'll be nights. I mean, there were so many times that, man, well, I didn't get anything tonight, but everybody else was getting stuff, and I'm like, okay, so they're following you tonight. All right, that's cool. I'll go back to the sister's house and sleep in the hot room.
If a skeptic came up to you, Garrett, Wantey, what piece of evidence would you show them to make them believe? Do you have a piece of evidence? You don't have to show us, but do you have a piece?
I mean, just the various clips that I find special to my, heart. Like there's a clip that I was with Dave Schrader over at the Shanley, and we asked the spirits, how do you come from one realm to the next? And the answer they gave us was the veil. So to me, that one was huge, because it was a clear response for me. And people always ask you, like, well, how do they get through? Well, when the veil is thinning, it's a more active investigation. When the veil is further away, it's a less active investigation, because it's harder for them to be able to interact with us, and it takes more energy for them than it does for us.
So what do you feel spirits are? Like, what do you think happens once we pass on?
My personal thing is, I feel that we are inhabiting a human body as whatever soul on a journey. So whatever journey we're trying to complete, that's the journey we're on. And then once we're done, we return back to our soul form, and you've experienced this, and then you get to reincarnate into another journey that you're trying to go, whether it be immediately or it could be hundreds of thousands of years from now. I mean, it's all, time is irrelevant. From what I've learned, time is irrelevant in that world.
In spirit world, yep.
So you consider spirit to be like pure energy, or is it us that's in another dimension and we're getting, caught in these rifts or whatnot, slipping through the veil or whatnot?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think we're in our own dimension, but they're able to pass through it because it's to the point where they've learned how to do that, and we're just not there yet.
Yeah. And I think that it's just the way our bodies are held together with frequency and vibration. I think we're at a much lower frequency and vibration than they are. That's why they're able to go and through things and move things, you know, that if they choose to slow their vibration down, they've learned how to do that, and that's when they interact with us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where can people find all your stuff, man? You want to shout out all your stuff?
Sure. Everything of mine is Wantey's World, so you can
Right there,
find me.
boy.
I made it super easey. Like it was one of those things. I'm like, I just got to change everything to one. So I go wanteysworld.com. I got Wantey's World. You know, it's at Wantey's World for TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all those different platforms. Really sounds like
Yeah.
that.
So can they buy your REM pods on your website, or do they go to your Facebook page to get them, or is it just?
So the REM pods are, if you are interested in one, then just message me. I don't have them posted on any website right now, just because to try and get some of the parts is not always the easiest when you're trying to order the boards. So if I get 10, 15 boards, I put them aside and they're ready to go. If I figured if I just start building them and posting them, then I'm going to run out of stuff, and I don't want to tell people that you ordered 5 and I can't because I can't get the boards. So it's if you ask me, I'll say it takes this long, give me about a week to get the parts and build it, and then I can ship it out. So
yeah, because you're saving lives also in between building them,
Yeah, I work 2 24-hour shifts a week. So if we have a good day and we get to rest at work, and I call it rest because you don't really, like, even though you have a bed and you can lay down, you really don't sleep because you're always like partially awake as to when's the tone going to go off and what's it for? Is it for a medical? Is it for a fire? Is it someone needs help with something? So those 2 days are lost days to me. And then the morning after, if I have to sleep when I get home, is an entirely lost day too. So,
so, all right. I want to hear the craziest fireman story. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you?
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like answering this question. So there are many crazy things that happened, and which is probably not always the best thing. I try and just put them in the closet and leave them alone. I'd rather not. I will happily tell you guys after, but I put them in the closet and leave them alone.
That's fair. That's very fair.
So any really big fires that you were part of that any
fires they're few and far between. We've done such a good job of working on fire prevention and getting smoke alarms in the houses and getting things set up so it's a safer environment for people, that fires have gone from being a 2 or 3 times a day thing to you may go to one every month. Which is awesome. So we do like 90% of our calls are medicals, and the remaining 10% are like, smoke alarms going off or investigations for people calling, campfires. So someone's burning out back and it upsets the neighbor. So we end up having to go out and just make sure that they're not burning down the neighborhood. So we do more of those type of calls than actual fires, but we're cross-trained, and I'm a paramedic as well as a firefighter. So I got to do both jobs. Yes, thank God.
Yeah. I'm sure
Chris
had
the spirit tell you something before, like,
what's
fire,
that?
like,
what was that? Chris?
Ever told you something like before an emergency, like, hey, whatever, somebody down the street's gonna have a heart attack. Or,
well,
not like me, not like my situation, but I mean like in your job.
No, like I said, I keep that separate from work. When I'm at work, okay. I am very clear that I don't want to be bothered.
Well,
and let me do my job. Too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't want to be bothered, and because, like I said, it's hard if you're trying to do something. Like if you're investigating, you're in a whole different mindset, and if you're being constantly bombarded, you don't want to have to try and save someone's life and be like, all right, well, what medications do I need to give them? Or, what tools do we need to put out this fire, and how much water, and, being responsible for people. It's the last thing you don't want to interact. So it's just.
Well, yeah. I don't mean on purpose. I just meant like, as a spirit ever popped up and been like, dude, in about an hour.
So is your district pretty populated? Like, is it a big town that you serve?
So we got about 11 to 12,000 people, and we service 45 square miles.
Wow.
It's like 44.7 something. So 45 square miles.
Okay.
How many of you are there usually during a shift?
So Monday through Friday, we have 4 people until 5. And then at 5 p.m. until 7 a.m., we drop down to 3. So we'll send 2 on the ambulance and 1 person will chase. So
for 11,000 people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we provide mutual aid to the surrounding towns as well.
So are you like understaffed, or is it
every department is understaffed? It all comes down to funding. It's expensive to pay to have paramedics there, because paramedics obviously cost more to have, being at a higher medical skill, and towns can't afford it all the time. So you got to slowly build it up. So we're trying to get 1 more person a shift right now. So I'll give 4 across the board, 24/7, but it's a process.
Yeah.
So you drive the fire truck? Have you ever drove in it?
If I have to, I drive it, but I usually get driven around.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a bucket list thing for me. Maybe one day I can get to drive a fire truck.
One day you come up here, maybe I'll take you for a ride.
All right. I don't know what the town would look like after I'm done driving, but
well, I would drive you around, so you could could enjoy. We got I call it a four-row bell. So we have a bell that rings, and it's the old style bell, and it's like my favorite thing, because there's no siren controls on my side of the engine. So I'll sit there and I'll pull the pull chain for the bell, and the whole way down the road, you hear the bell dinging. Like, oh, must be Garrett working today. The bell's going off.
I've ridden in ambulances, but never a fire truck, so I might have to come out there.
Go on up.
Nicole,
you want to ride? Everybody wants to ride in the fire truck.
Yeah. Do you respond to a lot of car accidents too, or do you find car accidents more than fires? Or
yeah, we do a lot of car accidents. We have 2 major routes that go through the community, and being that we kind of are the main passageway from Massachusetts to New Hampshire, it keeps us busy.
Oh, geez, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to use the
jaws of life?
Yeah, jaws of life. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to use them. There's you got the scissors and the spreaders, so the cutters and the spreaders, and I always teach everybody that I train and work with that the spreaders can do everything, and then you have other people that are like, oh, you got to cut, and I'm like, no, I'd rather have the big. I'd rather have the big spreaders that spread everything apart, because it's like a tin can you just pop and open.
That's
nice.
Crazy.
That's so cool.
Jeez. Dude, I admire you so much, man. Thank you for your service and all you do in that community, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for your service.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. No problem. All right, man. Any other paranormal stories you want to talk about before we go?
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
No. So we talked about the Shanley, the other house near you. What's your bucket list? What's one place you want to go like before you kick the bucket?
Oh my gosh, there's a whole list.
Well, give me 3. Let's hear 3.
I know you can't investigate there, but I'd love to go. I would love the opportunity to investigate the Alamo.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be a good place. That would be.
I think that would be something to do, but I know they would never let us there. I'd love to see the Stanley.
Yeah, the Stanley Hotel. So they just got new owners, and they're trying to stray away from all the paranormal stuff. So they don't even do the tours anymore, and they really don't talk about it anymore, is what I've heard. But I haven't been up there lately, so I have to. I would love to do it. Yeah.
And then I still got to get down to down near AJ and check out some of those places around him. He's got
yeah,
a few near him.
The Enfield House and the Conjuring, all the places. Yeah. I want to go to England. I want to do a castle.
Yes.
I think like a old castle.
Yeah, Ireland is my on my bucket list to go to, but I don't know if I'll be able to investigate out there. But I still want to just go to Ireland.
Oh, I've been told you can just walk up, and if you're investigating, and they ask you, they say you're investigating. People from Ireland have told me that. They're just like, "Oh, carry on."
Wow.
As long as it ain't like some major private location or something, like you can just be So, Kat has a question for us. Yeah.
Where's Mobile Mayhem this
year?
Well,
wherever Dennis is in July or wherever in May. Yeah.
However far he's made it, either down south or up the East Coast by that point.
Yeah, he's in Texas right now. So. We got FBI. We got a famous haunted castle here in the Netherlands called Lovenstein. Oh, the Netherlands would be a good place too, I guess.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Everywhere
a castle is on my bucket list, but with investigating the Wilson Castle recently, I kind of got castles off my bucket list, but I'd still love to see more castles.
Yeah.
Or even like a old battlefield, where knights fought and stuff. I think that would be cool. I bet I could get clinking, like two swords hitting. Like I don't know.
You go, beep, beep, clink clink.
Yeah, it'd be great. That would be awesome, man.
Ooh. Catacombs would be a lot of fun, but hopefully they're somewhat cleanish.
Yeah, the ones in Paris I think would be cool.
Or like where Jack the Ripper was, like do the Jack Ripper tour and investigate as you're doing that. That would be cool. There's so many places that would be interesting. I know one of my bucket list was down in Arizona, the Birdcage Theater and the Washoe House. Yeah, those would be one of mine.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man. Dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on and telling us your experience, dude. Thank you so much for your service and everything you do for your community, man. You guys, check out his TikTok, check out everything, follow him, give him some love. And Wantey, man, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're amazing, Wantey. Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, man. Yes. Thanks for saving this guy.
Yeah. Thank you. You helped, JK. You helped.
Wouldn't be the same if I didn't listen to the spirit messages. And I don't know if you had seen the clip that I had sent to Chris, but the day prior it had told me that he needed help. And
really?
And I, shame on me, and I said I did not listen because we were just there, trying to investigate. And then it said it again when the day we were playing Duck Duck Goose. The responses I got was Chris, Wantey, Hero, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like, it's like upstairs. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go upstairs, and then obviously now find Chris. It's like, oh, should have listened.
It's on his TikTok, JK. But
is it? Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Isn't it on your
man.
TikTok?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Wantey. Thanks, brother.
Right now.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Take care, man. Stay backstage, and hopefully we could talk about one of those stories.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think, buddy?
So fun.
I love that talking guy so to Wantey, man. Yeah, no, he did a great job. Proud of him.
We're gonna go out and just ride on the fire truck.
Yeah, go on the fire truck. I want to thank everybody for attending today. I love you all. Nothing but love and light for you guys. I hope you have a great week. And JK47 signing out. And Chris, you got anything you want to tell everybody?
No, I think I'm good right now. I think I'm going to be on a stream tomorrow, but that'll be on my Facebook if anybody wants to see that. Otherwise,
all right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.
See ya.